the prejudice go out of the studio in a way. But sometimes it's also like what I think it's the same. You encounter dancers who struggle in a moment and they can't explain why, so you have to start building with the knowledge you have of the people you know, of them, of the environment, and you make a puzzle like what can be the problem, and then you start making the puzzle, phoning to the family of the person in question, the places where they live, and then sometimes it's like if you find it, it's like tuck, and it's over. And but that's why we need time. We need like these the artistic coaches are like fundamental in everything we do, and it's not only our dancers who benefit from it. It's like everybody in a studio benefits from having not only stressed teacher because there's a high bar set, but maybe two people who have the proximity to be able to divide, to listen to what's happening, what's going on, why are you struggling, and that's care, being close, being able to go beyond just performing efficiency. It's like even for us, does everybody here go to work every day from 9 to 5 and have like, every minute in the time I work efficiently? If your mother is ill or your children didn't sleep all night, I was 3 years a zombie because my daughter didn't sleep. I managed, but it's not like I could use some care in that moment. Having somebody saying like, "Are you okay?" No. But I think this is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this idea that actually we are all vulnerable. Actually,
we all benefit from having,
and we all need
some love and some care. But we still learn it. It's like with the dancer with autism. Every day she's very critical towards what should change, and I'm like everything. I'm like, wow, you bring in so much great ideas. Like if we work in a studio, have a silent space somewhere close by, and make it and keep it consequent that everybody who answered is silent. It's such a small thing, but it helps.
A silent
space where there are no auditive, where there are no visual prickles. I don't know how do you say input, impulse. Like this would never work with people with disabilities altogether. If we do organize something like it's like with cushions and people can lay down, close their eyes, not being focused all the time, having some fidgets there, maybe something that they can go. You explain like this is a place where you can go out if you want, if you feel like. You can close your eyes, you can sit down, you can go in that corner if you will not offend me by doing that. Just do so. These are small things we can do to help.
Yeah, also in the teaching, it's the same. You have to, if the people wants to go outside, they want to go to toilet, they want to, maybe the last time, Lenny, she has autism, and she didn't want to start with the group, and we really have to take time. We take the time to go to her. You want to come? We invite her. She said, "Okay, I will come later." And little by little, she's coming. Yeah, really. Yeah, I think the patience, it's so important. Yeah, to work when you work with dancers with disabilities. Yeah.
Okay, I see the time is running, and if you are all teaching, educating somehow, and I wonder if in an artistic education we should teach care, and how. Big question. Actually, if should it be, I also teach in in an art school, and this is a question coming back. How do we bring? How do we need to feed them,
I see.
teach them?
I think it comes in the practice,
Okay.
not to learn as okay, like a theory, and you have to do it, to practice, with the dancers.
And within a dance class, it is possible.
Mm.
Yeah. Mika, you want to react?
No, I think the question is, do you teach care or do you create a context where care is part of the teaching? I think that's more it's more the way I see it. So how do you implement things in the educational programs so that you have the space for that? Like the
Okay, so let's speak about policy. So if you were policymakers and you had to think about the educational framework where excellency and autonomy and care practices would come together, what would you do?
I mean, you encouraging the lateral learning for once, to have a moment where you all share, staff and students together, a practice, ways to break some of the boundaries that that work against the possibility of care, for instance. You wanna add?
I think we have a society where there is that people that we believe that you how do you say it a self-made man in a way. We have a society that you can become successful if you want and if you put enough effort in it and if you study and if you go. But we forget that it has to do a lot with opportunities, and opportunities are combined with power, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to be a self-made man, even though if you're white and you're grown in Belgium in a wealthy family and you get all the opportunities, of course it's easy to be a self-made man. Or woman, or I mean, it's the concept self-made man. I don't mean the gender but if you have not that right context, if you never crossed the canal, if you have never been able to dream, like again, I can only speak for Platform K or the dancers. A lot of them, they have never heard like what do you want to become later on? Because they have a disability, people don't ask that question, because often they can't become a fireman or they can't become a pilot, or so why should you ask the question? And so a lot of people don't believe I can become a professional dancer. So why should you aim to be that if you don't even believe you can? So the education system doesn't open up for people like Oscar. He's a great dancer. He has Down syndrome. He would never be able to do a regular education system in 3 years time. He would need a lot of support for that if he needs to do all the theory classes. But does that make him a better dancer in a way? Like, why should you? So in a way, I would challenge the idea of the self-made man, because there are a lot of people who don't enter even a dance a dance class. They don't even enter a dance class as a child, or if they enter and there's a teacher who says, yeah, okay, I will open my class to a child with a disability. After a few years, it's like they stay with the children and they don't grow to become to have the challenges in life, because you need to support, you need to. So I would challenge policymakers to think further than normal bodies, white people. Like go beyond that. I was just saying this, we will hire, it's the first time that people of Platform K, dancers of Platform K will be on the payroll. Now, this month, it's like, this is huge.
Yeah.
But it has taken us so much work to do so. It's like they say everybody needs to work, but in a way they make it so damn hard to be on a payroll for them. It's like you kind of, it's Kafkaians. It's like you can't understand. So voila, there are a lot of things that don't work for a lot of people in our policies. So I would challenge that all the time. I would be always like the one saying, yeah, but.
That's good. What about the decision making? How would you organize the hierarchy within a school?
I think the students have to have a space to co-curate some of the curriculum. I think that's very important, to feel responsible also for what is brought into the walls of the school. So to everything that has to do with the students' representation in the decision making, I think is crucial to change, actually, to make that change.
And you were saying this started at P.A.R.T.S, no? There is a group.
Yeah, there is one dancer, Zana, who starts with the dancers, with the dancers from P.A.R.T.S. No. Okay.
No.
Sorry, yeah.
I was speaking about this reflection group on.
I think now, no, I mean, we have to check with Charles and Steven, but I think
Yeah,
the
we should
students
check
have
with-
more of a say, no, now more and more through the years of being able to propose teachers, and so it is evolving.
Okay, I think it's time now to open up to you, because probably you have things to ask and say, and I will pass through the mic. Would you want to share something or ask something to our guests?
Thank you. Actually, I wanted to share something because you were asking about teaching of care, and I heard something that I found very interesting in another conference. It was a conference, a dialogue between scientists and the Dalai Lama, actually. So it was the power and care. And there was an anthropologist working on care, so working also on the biological dimension, that it's linked to the hormone oxytocin, the social hormone. And her way, I mean, what she was saying, that increases the care attitudes in human, it's spending time with small children and animals. And she even designed a program, this I found very interesting, for the police forces in Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, because they were considered very brutal. So the program for them to become a bit more human, they had to spend every day some time in a kindergarten with the toddlers. And apparently it worked.
Wow. Who wants to react?
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine but it's like, if you're always in the same environment where there are values, or where everybody's doing the same thing all the time. So if schools, for instance, are always like indeed prestige and going further, then yeah, there need to be people who change something. So, and I think that's why we are here. Like, that's why Platform K is also in P.A.R.T.S. A lot of people have never encountered with people with disabilities, never in their life. Can you imagine? Some people say, I have never spoken to somebody with a disability. And I'm like, how is this possible? In my childhood, also, when I went to the market, there were like small vans coming, and then the door went open, and the places where they went to the market together, and everybody was like, oh, they were not in the society. Care was organized outside society. So if you are never encountered with care, with some kind of other ways of approaching things, you will never be able to do so. So I can imagine being with children and
and animals. So we have to bring in the cats and dogs. Okay, one last thing, then I'll give the mic. It's on this care thing that for me, I mean, you mentioned it, that it should be wider in the society. It's not just for people with disabilities, because everyone can benefit from it, because you have to think that a lot of us at some points in our lives will be in situations like disabilities, like what you're saying about touching, if you're in a hospital and they are a care practice, but it's not always the case that the patient is asked on the handling or explained what's going to happen as a procedure. And it is very violent, I think, for everyone when they are, but you only realize it when you are in a weak situation yourself. Or all the spatial arrangements for people with disabilities. Everyone will be pregnant, sick, carrying a lot, and this can help many more people than we imagine. So for me, it makes the whole society better. Okay, I finish.
Good evening. Thank you for all the insights that you shared. Very interesting. Thanks for moderating. I have two questions. We spoke here about care, which I think is very important. By the way, I work in HR, so that for me was. We also spoke about education, and your question was what you would integrate or what you would change, or as a policymaker. So my first question is, how do you now, or how would you educate all the rest of us? Because I heard a lot about how we educate, in Platform K and specific groups, and it's amazing, but also the rest of the group needs to be educated for acceptance, for inclusion, that's the first. And the second, because on the website it says that we are also looking at exploring different new opportunities. If each of you can give one idea, or if you have how P.A.R.T.S can explore more collaborations, or Platform K can explore more collaborations. Thank you.
Maybe for the first question, something I wanted to mention earlier, for me, one of the things I've learned that has been really striking and that really changed my way of thinking about the world is the concept of positionality that was brought to me in the research. So where are you situated on the different axes of difference, maybe race, gender, socioeconomics, ability. And for me, this is something that everybody should learn how to position themselves there. Of course, it's something that is constantly changing depending on the relationship or the situation or the relationship. But still, I feel like a lot of people who are in the dominant spectrum of this axis of differences don't actually envision it. It's only the people who, it's not only, but it's so much more obvious for the ones who are in the minorities. So for me, that should be something even taught at school, in primary school, so that it is completely part of the vocabulary of any kind of relation. So I think this could benefit to everyone, actually.
So your first question was, how can we educate
the others? Because you also you also mentioned that you had to beg and you had to go in partnerships and explain, and that's also part of educating. But how at that level, can we make it better?
Very good question. What he said, I really agree on, but I also, I think it's by collaborating, by doing. It's like being there. It's like it sounds very weird, but it's like being a virus and infecting everybody. And in that way, if you take over, in that way you should make sure there are no antidote for it. So nobody should say it's not interesting. You should make it make it a priority, put it on the agenda. And that's why, and I was also in a debate, and somebody said it was about education system, and she said, what makes you still angry in that way? And I said, I'm not angry in that way, but I feel like there's a lot of good energy of people who want to change it, and it's these people like P.A.R.T.S saying, we want to change it, we want to open this up, we want to open the school. It's like being here, but indeed one of our dancers is now joining a class with the P.A.R.T.S students. She's not doing it every time because it's too intense for her, but she's joining. She's connecting with the other dancers. The P.A.R.T.S students, we every 3 years there's a new generation. We speak about Platform K, we introduce them, they came to see the show, they meet our dancers. This is the new generation. These are the upcoming choreographers, dancers who will be, I hope, have the idea like, this is not so special anymore. Like in this way we educate them, and it's with pushing on parts like, okay, this is a first step, what can be the next step in this? And indeed, like, okay, this dancer is now joining the class, she's adapting to the class, how can we adapt the class to her? This will not be for tomorrow, maybe not next year, not in the upcoming 5 years, maybe, I don't know, but in one point I believe this can change, and the idea will be the other way around. Like, can we adapt in a way? It doesn't need to be all the way the other side. It's some meet in the middle, I think. And if you feel like the other is willing to meet in the middle, you can also step up. Like when I started, a lot of the parents said, this will never work, Inge. A full day working, it will never work for my son or daughter. And I said, let's see, we'll try. And if it doesn't work, you trust me, I will take care that they are taken care of. And they said, okay, I trust you. And then we take another step and another step. And they do things nobody, not, even the parents didn't believe they would. So if you already can, if the parents already don't believe, it's like, you see, you have to, parents can't come on tour, because the relation is very much different. And we have to, taking them out of these like protective, like, okay, safety is something else than always like protect them against the normal world. But it's a slow process. And I think by telling, by speaking, by seeing, being in the audience, seeing that it can shift, taking the youngsters over the canal and say, hey, it's quite nice there. Going in L'Étonneur, a huge theater that's like, no, it was a Théâtre National, like a huge theater where you are like, this is the change you have to make, and it's good. And then the parents come and see, and this place doesn't seem so unknown anymore. It's more, and we should invest in that a lot, I think. Sorry, it's one part of the question. The other one I forgot, or what's?
If you can give examples or how to expand for Platform K and also for P.A.R.T.S in the realm of inclusivity and
probably like this is mixing. You need fighters and energy to provoke a mixing. And then I think the fact of sharing a space makes a lot of connections without even noticing, but you do see, because sometimes it's just a matter of invisibility. You don't see. So if you don't see, you don't know. So shared spaces.
But then, because I came for the reading because of inclusion. When I think of inclusion, I think of minorities, for example, to see them, to make them visible. So let's say nowadays we see a lot more people of color, a lot more queer people on the streets, out in the open, on TV, etc. And they do get a voice more and more, which is good. What I've heard now so far is that the things you do, and I also, because I also have an organization that does it, is that we are taking care of the people with disabilities, but that we are actually enabling safe spaces and that we are changing our behavior to facilitate art in this context. But what I still kind of miss is how we can include them into our society and make them feel part, an equal part of our society. So I still have a little bit of a feeling, it's a critical one, but so is this inclusion then a hoax? Or should we redefine inclusion then for people with disabilities? And I'm talking about neurodiversity, autism, but also people that are blind or that cannot hear music. Yeah, I still feel very
Thanks. It's also linked to the question about the policies and the question what may be changed on the structural level. And imagine a politician come to you and ask, hey, you're the expert, you know the question the best way. And so what should be changed on the policy, and what you respond? And sorry, I cite you. I should challenge you, politician, to change the society. So you see, it's a kind of vicious circle that they ask you, you ask them. And so that's why maybe this question about how you educate the society or what should be changed on the structural level. So you are the experts. Maybe you should know what should be done on the social level of these problematics. And sorry that I challenge you in this.
You're right. We were performing the piece, and there was somebody of the Ministry of Care, and our Minister of Care is the same Minister of Culture, actually, Minister Genie. And we were saying like, oh, she was very enthusiastic about the piece, the person in question. And I started explaining what we all had to do to put that piece there. So I was there for 6 days with our dancers in Brussels. I had to go to the hospital with one. I was 24/7. I was available, and I was just like talking like this, and we had to do that, and we this and this and this and this and this. And she was like, and I said, okay. And now you work for this minister. What can she change to make this work possible? Because I'm only one person. I can't do it all. And she was, yeah, that's a good question, actually. That's a good case. Maybe I should take it to the minister and talk about it. And I was, yes, please. Because there are systems that can help us. There are systems in care that can help us. But it's like, yeah, but you can't take money from the care system to put in the arts, and you can't take money from the arts to put it in the care. So, and you can't apply for both because we are an arts organization. So she was an interesting case. So I will propose it because, yeah, the minister doesn't want to pay it all from the care, but she doesn't also want to. So I said, if you want to do this kind of work, you have to double our budget. Where does it come from? But I don't see it's changing. Like we will not get double a budget, but it's good that we say these kind of things, I think. And in order to change the society, we have now in 2027, there will be 3 dancers in productions that are not our creations. So another company asks I want to work with this and this dancer of Platform K, and voila. And this is. But then it's really okay.
I'm so sorry. Hi, guys. But then if the dancer is then working in the other company, is it then a piece about the disability, or is it stated that there's a dancer with a disability? Or it mentioned, sorry, not stated, mentioned.
You mean in the communication?
Yeah.
I'm not sure because it doesn't, it's not written, but we as Platform K, we stay close. So we stay there to see that it's not about, we need a person in a wheelchair, so we ask a person, like, you see?
Because I think like real inclusion would be that you go to a theater, you see dance performance, you go like, wow, I've seen such a good dance performance. And afterwards, you might learn that one of the dancer was, I don't know, was autistic, or for me, that would be inclusion if we are talking about, defining it.
I mean, that's shifting. So there are companies asking because they want a different vibe or a different process, or even they're all both choreographers who have worked with Platform K. So they know the dancers, or they know what. So something is like, it's like you will never dislearn how to work with dance. Yeah, you see, there are a lot of people coming in our company, don't know how to work with dancers with disability. We say it's not such a big difference, and they want to come back. They want to make another piece, like, and it's like opening up something that's closed. We had great. Somebody wrote us an email, like she said, I'm a contemporary dancer, and I had a dance burnout. I never wanted to dance again in my life, and then I came to Open Friday, and I found it again. I know again why I'm done. So it's like, I think this is shifting. There are things happening.
Yeah.
And it's not about the disability anymore. It's what the opportunities, it's what the possibilities are.
Yeah, but I think changing the mindset would be then with the people that are working for it, because they kind of already have the heart for it. But it's changing more the mindset of the people that are in the audience.
But that is also, I mean, shifting. One time a person came to me and he said, I had to come to this performance because my wife works with people with disabilities, and I didn't want to come, but I love contemporary dance. So she said, yeah, you have to come, you love dance, you have to come. He came after the show and he said, like, I didn't see a performance with people with disabilities. I saw a very good contemporary dance performance. And I think this is already, but it's work in progress. It's not something that shifts from today to tomorrow.
Because then, another critical question is that when of course, the 3 dancers that are now in companies, were they chosen because of their disability, or did they do the audition, an open audition, and they got the part?
It's they are doing audition workshops, and there are more dancers joining, and they will select 2 or 3 dancers from the company.
Yeah.
But that's also a good idea. It's not like the selection is not something bad, but it's in an audition.
No, it's good, and it's also a safe space. I think it's necessary. But for talking about inclusion, and I'm still missing, like, there's just so much work that needs to be done.
Yeah, of course.
And then I'm again questioning: is it possible?
We'll see. I hope Platform K doesn't need to exist in several amount of years. That we don't need this kind of debates anymore. That it's common. But let's see.
Thank you. Yeah, so I graduated from P.A.R.T.S 6 months ago, and we've shared the studios with Platform K for 3 years, and I was working with the Labo Lobo group, so with elderly people, when we had this moment of meeting, and so I never actually danced with Platform K, but of course we meet in the canteen every day, and then I went to see this piece in L'Étonneur a few months ago. And I had this same thing of like, oh, this was a very good contemporary dance piece. And I think this whole thing of inclusivity is so hard because it feels like we're making a compromise of like, we're taking something away from us of like, we need to slow down, we need to adapt, as if it was something that was like super, like an effort. I mean, it is an effort, but it doesn't mean that it's like, I think like just to reframe it as it brings something to us. Like I was very impressed with the performativity of the dancers, and as you say, like this authentic relationship to dance, which we sometimes lose a bit when we do contemporary dance and we're like dancing 24/7 and we want to understand why we're doing this, and then we cannot dance anymore because we're questioning it so much. And then you go, I witnessed like a bit of Platform K Open Friday, and I was like, okay, that's the vibe, like we're getting there. So I think this is it. This for me at least, I was very reluctant to join those Open Fridays because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm able to do so. And also working with elderly people was super tough because I feel like everything is about me. Am I able? And then it's like, oh, okay, decentering yourself from this topic and just meeting people. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of ongoing question. I'm also very much wondering how to, but the fact that you insist on the fact that you're failing also makes it less pressure. Like, okay, we meet and maybe it doesn't go exactly like amazing, but at least we meet, we interact, and we have different ways of seeing the world. And I mean, this is what creation is about. This is what dancing is so exciting about, is that we try out something together. So yeah, voilà, that's kind of my thought on it.
Thank you. So it's time for closing. And well, I take a lot of things home today. Definitely dancing is a gigantic tool to get the trust that I can care about somebody and I can be taken care of. That it is a very complicated matter, that I wonder when it will become a policy. I don't know. Maybe it's just every context that has to find a normalization within. The difference finally is about difference. Can it be just normal? Can we just be together normal? So maybe we need a new norm, and it will be first clustered like it is happening already before it becomes a policy. But that is still really humanizing, and that it is humanizing for both, for everybody. Okay, and because of that, I think it's quite a political statement also, which I hear you're already bringing to the politics. It is this commitment to care and inclusivity. It's a political statement against simplification of things. So let's keep it. It is difficult, and it will be still difficult, and that's okay. That's what it's about, I think.
It was nice what she said. Sorry, I don't know your name. That's why. But that you said, I didn't feel able.
Yeah.
It's very. It's like I'm actually not secure, or I'm insecure about the encounter because I don't feel able.
Because I never did it also.
Because I never did
because
it.
it never happened.
So I think it's,
And
this is a
maybe
very
that's a part
valuable
of the question.
lesson. And that's why an encounter is to reframe. I like what you said. An encounter to reframe that. It's like the essence. There it starts, and then we will see. Hopefully, it really changes.
Okay, so let's go back home with hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you.